All right, Virgo, here we go. Here's your overall for the week. Oh boy. The Five of Wands. So, yeah. Now, one of the things that I talk about with the Five of Wands is if you're in a situation where nobody is hearing you, everybody is just butting heads, and you're caught up in petty arguments and, whatever difficulty you're facing, it's really about you rising above the rest. I like this better than the Five of Swords, but we're talking about conflict, petty arguments, misunderstandings, nobody hearing each other. But we'll see how this is playing out. Oh, okay. Competition is very much a part of the Five of Wands. But again, it's you rising above the rest. The Ace of Pentacles is the past coming through. You have a really beautiful opportunity coming through. A new beginning, new growth in your life, sustainability, very important for me with the Ace of Pentacles. But there's a lot of pettiness that's surrounding this. That or you may be facing a lot of competition when it comes to having this new beginning. Oh boy. In the present, the King of Pentacles. Now, we can definitely be talking about a work situation with all three of these. When you're looking at the King of Pentacles, Earth, but I don't really feel like this is you. I feel like this has to do with somebody else. I think that you're looking at another Earth sign here. I mean, we can definitely be talking about your overall success, but I think that some of you are looking at an opportunity with someone. Now, beyond Earth sign, when you're looking at the King of Pentacles, right, you're dealing with somebody who normally is very giving of their time and resources. That's one of the big things with the King of Pentacles. Very dependable. But looking at the Five of Wands, it's like, well, what the hell, Okay. And that may be... I'm waiting to call this until we see what the outcome is. But when you're looking at the Page of Wands and future conditions, unexpected good news that may come through from somebody as far as work goes, and a work opportunity that may have been available in the past and now it's coming back through. This may be somebody that's trying to help you, get to a place of success. You may be focused on your success right now, but I still feel like this is somebody else. Now, with the Page of Wands, though, with the Five of Wands, right, you may be getting some really good news about an opportunity that you have no experience in whatsoever, but you have enough passion and drive to do it, but there may be a lot of people that are trying to do the same thing. Now, on the other hand, this good news may not be as good as you think it is. I think that initially it sounds good, but maybe it's not that great. And again, because of the Five of Wands being the overall. Oh, shit. Virgo, why? Your best path to follow, the shadow side or the devil. This is about getting over all the negative things that you feel like have control over your life. When I go right back to the Oracle cards, what is it that's stopping you? I mean, yeah, with the Five of Wands, we could definitely be talking about internal conflict. You may have some really great news coming through, but for some reason, there's a part of you that is like stopping yourself almost. I still worry, though, about the Page of Wands. Now, normally, I'm like, hey, yeah, I love him. I mean, he looks so happy and ready to go follow a new passion. He has no idea what he's doing, but the hell with it. We'll learn on the way. But like I said, with the Five of Wands being there, it puts a taint on it. And then looking at the shadow side, it's like, man, whatever negative things that have been holding you back, now is the time to start clearing all that shit up. I mean, that's heavy. Oh, I'm telling you. I feel like this is another person. And I think that the opportunity that comes through looks good and sounds good on the surface, but I worry. Like, seriously, I worry about this. The Knight of Cups in your environment connected to the King of Pentacles. Now, yeah, we can definitely be talking about you making an offering here. And again, the Knight of Cups, the messenger of love and romance. It doesn't have to be. It can just be an offer coming through that, could be emotionally very good. But I worry. Oh man, he's so conflicting for me. It drives me nuts. And I've been talking about this a lot this week. To me, he's like an emotional junkie going after the first high, being the page of cups, wanting to continuously feel that new emotional feeling over and over again, and going wherever he's going to get it and offering it to whoever will take it. And I think that you have somebody that you're focused on right now that may be making this offer, but there is something that is holding you back, and I still worry about this. Oh, please, please prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But, it would have been different had these two not been here. Then I would have been like, oh, hey, that's not bad. But, and then again, the only negative thing that may be here is your inability to accept it, because there are things that are weighing you down. Wow. Virgo, the hell. Your hopes and your fears, the Six of Wands. And as far as like the shadow side, definitely getting victory over this, especially with the Five of Wands being the overall. Now, on the other hand, I'm looking at it because of these two, and then seeing him more about getting the attention that you deserve. And that's what you're hoping for here. It's almost like having somebody come through, offer you something on an emotional level, but then already thinking negatively about it before anything happens, and hoping that, this time you're going to get the attention that you actually deserve. And like I said, it's just because of these two, it just throws everything off. Now, with the shadow side, it could be one of those things where, there's a need to clear up this idea that every offer that comes through to you is not going to be a good thing. And that may be where the internal struggle is coming through though too. And like I said, right, with the King of Pentacles, yeah, we can be talking about you and you possibly making an offering, hoping that it's going to be accepted, hoping that you're going to hear good news. But I don't know. I really do think that for some of you, it's going to be somebody else. All right. So this is how I feel about this. If things start to pick up quickly here, especially with communication coming through, when you're looking at, the Five of Wands and like, the butting of heads, the misunderstandings, or the internal struggle, when you're looking at the Queen of Swords, if you got somebody coming through that may have some good news about an opportunity and wanting to share this with you, you are not taking any shit. You're like, you know what? Let's just get straight to the point here. I don't even want to piddle fart around. Let's go ahead and get it all out on the table. And then with the Seven of Pentacles, right? Like, it makes sense to me. It's looking at the situation differently. I always question this with this card. The Seven of Pentacles, reevaluating, is the word that's attached to this. So, if you spent all this time and effort into something, and you're taking stock of what you have to show for all your hard work and effort, are you really happy with it? And I always question that with this one, and whether or not this person is really happy with the results that they have to show for all the efforts that they put through. So you may come in straight to the point and being a little bit cold about it, but I think that you start looking at things differently based on this, and then you're just going ahead and going for it anyway. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending. But the problem is like I said, this is your advice. There are negative things that have to be worked out. But with the full, things happen. And again, with the Eight of Wands, things happen so quickly. I mean, you go from this spot where you're like cold and shut off to, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Even though it's like you go through this period of like reevaluating and seriously doing it, I think no matter what the results are, you're just going to be like, okay. And like I said, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending. I mean, this guy may be on the up and up, right? I mean, whoever it is that you're dealing with here. But like I said, I feel like this is somebody else. I don't think that that's you. That Queen of Swords, I think, is you. But I do think that you're hoping that you get, the right recognition. But I almost wonder if, like, you think that things are just going to go south anyway. And that may be the battle that's kind of going on right now, especially if you have somebody decent coming through that's offering you something realistic, even if it's being offered on an emotional level. Now, away from that, if we're talking about work, like I said, you have this opportunity coming through. Somebody may be offering this to you to help you further your success. It sounds really good and it's a really good offer, but there may be, some misunderstandings and creative misunderstandings. And in whatever way you're holding yourself back, it's like you need to get over that because, you do deserve recognition. But like I said, things immediately change. And whatever is coming through here that is, getting you excited and ready to go, I think that despite whatever, internal crap is going on, or external for that matter, with the Fool, it's like you do it anyway. I just worry a little bit with the Five of Wands being there. But what throws it way off is the damn shadow side, or the devil. But again, right, like, you get to choose what happens in your life with destiny. All right. Now, as far as singles go, worth waiting for, you cannot force a connection to happen if it's not there. And like I say with this one, right, it's like there's an effort that's being made, but it just can't happen. You may have been through a situation where you have somebody coming through, but you just can't make the connection. It's like one or both of you are just not in it. And there's no point in, like, forcing it to happen, right? But worth waiting for is saying that, you don't have to do this anymore, right? Something is going to come through at the right time. Now, as far as couples go, forgiving and learning. With the Eight of Swords, I worry that there may have been some things going on within a relationship that you are not comfortable with. And again, I always point out the devil in the background. You may have somebody that's, like, trying to force you to be okay with something that they may have done, but if you're not comfortable, then, maybe now is not the time to, like, try to just move forward. It's like needing to go through the healing that needs to be done first before, the connection can be really made. Like, I feel like somebody may have done something that they probably shouldn't have. And it's like they're wanting you to be okay with it, but I don't think that you are. And that's only for some of you. But man, Virgo, and it's not all that bad. It's just that these two are very telling as far as, like, what is really going on, not just internally, but externally. I do like the fact that the Ace of Pentacles is there. I do think that the offer that comes through may be on the up and up. I just think that, you are in two very different feelings here. You go from, I'm not taking any shit, to, okay, I'm going to go for it. In a flash, it's like, boom, you've completely changed the way you feel. But, like I said, it's good or bad depending. But what I will say is, if you take this leap, you're going to have to commit on this one, no matter what happens in the end. All right, Virgo. So first, let me just say that if we're talking about work here, you do have a really good opportunity coming through with the Ace of Pentacles. Continued growth, long-lasting sustainability. I love this ace. It's realistic. Now, I do think that this is going to have to do with another person that you're focused on, but this could definitely be talking about you in terms of business, making an offer here, getting some good news, and getting, the recognition that you deserve, which is very possible here. But, that the shadow side and the Five of Wands throws everything off. Like, had it been different advice, I think that, I would have looked at the Five of Wands like, oh, okay, competition in the workplace. I think what's happening here is that, and again, this is only for some of you, you have an opportunity coming through, and I do think that you have somebody that's making this offer to you. And I think that there is internal struggles that are blocking you, because the shadow side showing up, it throws everything off. in whatever way you're like holding yourself down or like not having faith in yourself, it's something that you need to work through because, you know, it's going to make you think that every opportunity that comes through is not going to be good. It's just not going to be good, right? Now, what's interesting here, though, is, you know, I do think that you're hoping for the right recognition, but you have, like, good news coming through. And I think that this is exciting for you. I do think that you question it, though, but the way that you change with this is so rapid. You come in first with the Queen of Swords, like, look, being logical, getting straight to the point here, not piddle-farting around, and then reevaluating things, and then you, I mean, complete change, and it's so quick. I mean, so quick. You move into the Fool, and like I said, it could be a good or bad thing, depending, but what I will say, like I said before, if you do this, you're going to have to commit, no matter what happens. And whatever negative things that you need to clear up, you got to do it. You got to release yourself. You got to get rid of that. You know, and with destiny and jealousy, like, I can understand if you have people around you that are trying to make you feel bad because you have these opportunities coming through, that you need to, like, release that and not allow it to put you in a place of, well, maybe I don't deserve this, because that is not the truth. You get to create your life the way that you choose. Now, as far as relationships go, for those of you who are single, worth waiting for in the Four of Swords, I think that some of you may have been in situations where either you or somebody else were trying to force a connection that just was not happening. And worth waiting for is just saying that you need to have faith that, you know, the right thing will come at the right time. But that's not always comforting, especially if you're single. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, forgiving and learning in the Eight of Swords, and this is only going to be for some of you, but I think that this has to do with another person doing something to you, because you're being asked to forgive and to learn and to heal the past. When you're looking at the Eight of Swords, I think that somebody is trying to make you, you know, be okay with the fact that they may have done something that they weren't supposed to do, instead of actually trying to heal the issue. It's like there's avoidance there almost. But like I said, I feel like they're trying to get you to be okay with the fact that they screwed up. And again, only for some of you. But whatever is coming through, Virgo, I mean, if it's you holding yourself back, that's nonsense, right? But like I said, you get to a place where I think you just full on go for it. But like I said, you're going to have to commit on this one. And whatever negative things that you're dealing with, you have to release yourself from it.